This now waiting for the next episode of Discovery to drop, and closing on 500 subscribers. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. This channel is about to become somewhat self-sufficient, and hopefully for too long it'll actually get a little profitable, and I'll never have to get a job again. I like this. Anyway, a little something that Trekkie that did in his first thing. And actually, not a bad topic here. Why am I a Star Trek fan? Well, a little background here. As of this recording, I'm 53 years old. I'm still not sure what that really means at this point. I still feel like I'm in my teens, frankly. But born in July '64, that means that when Star Trek premiered, I was 2.5 years old. Now, reportedly, I was watching the original series on NBC alongside my dad. He watched it, and I was there with him. So I was pretty much inculcated as a toddler. So there was no discovery moment of when did you first find Star Trek. I mean, it was always there. It was just the ubiquitous thing, the thing with Superman, Batman, Santa Claus used to. You knew it. It was just there. I saw the model kit. And the first Enterprise model kit we got was one of the long box ones, no lights, but it was still the little tab to the whole thing. And I already knew what it was. I didn't need to explain to it. Oh, this is on a show. No, I knew that, and I wanted it. We got it. And did the prominent error of putting the engines on wrong? So, been through that one. And when the animated show started in '74, I knew it wasn't the original. I knew there was one before that. I didn't remember it, but I knew it. And occasionally so now I know the main, and when I finally got to watch them and remember that I'm watching them, it was when the big syndication push in the mid '70s. Because right at the show canceled, reruns were kind of sporadic. They were kind of thrown out, and Channel 9 out here would occasionally run something on Saturdays. It wasn't regular. It was just whenever they had to fill the spots, they throw a Star Trek in there. It was like alongside Rat Patrol and stuff like that. It was when they did. I think it was the Kaiser station that started doing the big thing in them when they really put it together and they started running them in broadcast order. And that was good because the thing is, all the episodes are numbered. They got a production number, and they go in that sequence. And that's really the best way to see, because I've never understood this slave system. Put them in air date order. Air date order was completely arbitrary, pretty much. It was just like whatever episode was available to air at that time, because they were finished. Not necessarily, showing anything. You get a better feel for the growth of the series if you watch them in production order. But that's pretty much my background. And again, being in the early '70s, that's when the fandom thing, the conventions were just starting. I was hearing a lot about them. I picked up David Gerald's World of Star Trek and Star Trek Liz, but this Sandra Mershak, Mona Colbreth, and I think Joan Winston. I really need to read that more thoroughly. I've read Joan Winston's account of last week on the Star Trek set repeatedly. Like I could relate it almost like I was there, because it's a very good account. I wish I could have met her. She would have been fun. But David Gerald's World of Star Trek, and I didn't get the Troubles till in junior high. I know he had it out there, but I never really got to get a copy. And also the Making of Star Trek, I've gone through several copies. I have 3 or 4 copies personally right now, because I usually when one gets misplaced, it's easier to go and buy another one. So I have like 3 or 4 copies. 2 of them are original printings. That was because they were there, but a couple others just got there. And I think I might still have the ones I had from back in the day too. But occasionally, would write letters into the little group I kind of missed, the Star Trek Well Committee, the mailing list thing for new fans to connect with other fans and let them know what's going on. And letting them about letter writing campaigns and progress on the new movie, on early Starlog. Read the Starlog magazine, if anybody remembers that. We just started off, it was going to be just one shot on Star Trek, but it turned out okay. And there was so much, media, genre news out there that wasn't being covered elsewhere. They turned into a full-on magazine, and I subscribed to that for a long time. So I got a lot of the first issues. In fact, I actually started buying around number 11 and bought the back issues from Brazil. I got like the first 10, 15 years. But a lot of letters, into Paramount asking questions and making suggestions. Or sometimes they listen to that sort of thing. And I still got some of those letters. And I think I still got my original blueprints, which I was 10 years old, so I colored them in as well because I think it's easier to follow stuff. And it's what you do when you're 10. I have since got a more pristine set, so I kind of a switch to go to face them that way. Even though of later years goes, these are completely wrong, and this is not the way the ship is laid out. Of course, we didn't know, who knew back then? All I had to go by was the original, making the Star Trek and the description in there, and that's got problems. But why latch onto that show? Well, again, there's a lot of stuff in there. It was really, morality plays. It wasn't just, some brainless, space opera with, zap guns and a guy with pointy ears running around saying that's not logical, because that just puts it at the same level as, Lost in Space with a robot saying that does not compute. Well, there's deeper stuff there. And I'll make an admission here. My dad, and God bless him, he tried, but he was also gone a lot on business trips. So a lot of my moral foundation also comes from Star Trek too. And church and Sunday school and all that, and our good old Southern Baptist upraising. But there's a lot of Star Trek in there too. Of, how you behave, how you, treat other people and expect to be treated, and how you both on a personal level and then across species and planets and the whole thing. And that's kind of why I really don't like it when people just start, crappy little things. Look, there's a lot of stuff in that old crappy old creaky series that you're discounting when you start, trashing it like that. So, and you're gonna get a fight from me and a lot of other old timers, because you can't, you narrow little minds can't see past the, the wooden sets and the, occasionally where they'll forget to overdub the sliding doors and hear the rattle of the big heavy wooden doors as someone's pulling a rope on them. And I think it's one of the problems when you got the big gigantic budgets now, where you can't put anything on the screen. Because back in the day, you didn't have that kind of budget, and you had to think carefully about what you're going to put up there. And the concentration was on the writing. The stories, the characters, those mattered. And now it just doesn't seem that much, because like the JJ films, it's all spectacle. Nothing. There's no meat on the bone at all. It's all frosty, no cake. And frankly, Discovery, it's like there's not much there either. I mean, it's all boo-boo, big explosions and make the aliens look as weird and possible, then just forget what came before you and the foundation of what based it on. If it was such a crappy old show, why has it persisted all these years? Riddle me this. And again, the usual standard rule: any prequel that just totally blows off the source material is doomed to failure. That's, because again, it's a prequel to the original series, so why would you ignore the original series the way they're doing it right now? Especially when all the other series, when they have revisited that time period, they've reinforced it. No, that's what it looked like, guys. We can go a little more detail when Enterprise rebuilt the bridge, and you can have actual monitors and switches that do things, and you can use something besides plywood to build the console with, because now the resolution such you could see the wood grain if they did. Although I bet you, surprise, surprise, they probably still use wood. Times haven't changed that much. Find some behind the scenes stuff, look at the inside of that warp core in there, you'd be shocked. Plywood and tinfoil, guys, and little sparkly lights. Hadn't changed that much. The only difference, I think, maybe using LEDs instead of light bulbs because of the heat factor. But other than that, not a lot has changed. Still a lot of plywood being used on here, so let that, sink in there, kids, before you start disparaging them. Anywho, review later, either tonight or tomorrow, depending on when I get my copy of the latest Discovery. And in this respect, otherwise, based on the first 2 episodes, I really couldn't give 2 craps about it, because they've presented a main character who is utterly despicable, not a least bit appealing because of what she's done and how she's acted, and she's wrong on everything, even estimating when that storm was going to hit. She was wrong on that. All we have is Captain Giorgio's opinion that she's ready for her own command. By all her actions, she isn't ready to command a lemonade stand, let alone a starship. And as such, it's like, why would anybody tune in to find out what happens next to this twit? She should have been put in front of a firing squad for what she did, and then it would end the series right there. And note to screenwriters, what we went through, you want to keep the character somewhat appealing, you put all that into like a 5-minute, recap at the beginning. You leave out a lot of the gory details, because the gory details make you don't want anything to do with this character. Again, like I said in the last one, it's like why they went from Cadet Locarno as a possible helmsman for Voyager to a somewhat replacement character of Tom Paris. Well, you don't know exactly what he did. All you know is he screwed up. Locarno, you know exactly why he screwed up, and this is why you don't want him anywhere near the helm, because you know he's a screw-up. With Tom Paris, okay, you got a little bit there, and it's also termed differently, but you don't know the specifics, so you're limited to kind of a slack, because you don't know the people involved. With this one, we got to know a little bit, and no. Don't care. Throw him under the jail. Anyway, that should do it all. Catch you later, guys. And as always, PayPal, Patreon, Cafe Press, money, throwing the GoFundMe in there, and the T-shirt stuff. They're still up available. In fact, I'm going to try to get some more T-shirts on there at some point.